Hey guys, welcome back to WPPJ Point Park Radio. This is Talkin Sporty and Sometimes Nerdy with Lindsay. I'm Lindsay. I've been gone for like 2 weeks. I was really sick. There's a lot going around right now. Get your flu shot because there's a second wave of the flu and you don't want to get it because the flu sucks. I didn't have it, but it sucks. Anyway, last time I was here, I was talking about Antonio Brown and him potentially being traded, and then I believe either that night or the next day he got traded. And I haven't been able to talk about it because I haven't been here. He got traded to the Oakland Raiders, and that was kind of expected, in all honesty. We all knew he was going to get traded somewhere, and he was being kind of picky about where he got traded. So at least he found somewhere he's happy with. Then the next person that everyone was looking at was Bell, who ended up signing with the New York Jets. The Steelers, no one really knows what to expect from them now. They still have all these good young players like Juju Smith-Schuster. I saw recently that Joe Hayden said that you shouldn't blame Tomlin for all the drama they've been having. And I kind of agree, because a lot of the drama they've been having is off the field, like Antonio Brown just doing crazy stuff within his life and posting stuff he shouldn't post on social media. And Tomlin can't really control what these grown men do in their daily lives. So, yeah, I wouldn't blame Tomlin. I don't know if it's Roethlisberger is to blame, because a lot of players have been saying he's not a great leader. Tomlin has backed up Ben Roethlisberger, saying he is a good captain and he is a good leader. So, I don't really have much to say about the Steelers right now, given that it's off season. I do know, I read an article that Terrell Edmonds, he was the first round draft pick last year. He says he's ready to get to work, and that's what's really important right now, is the younger players stepping up, getting to work now that they've lost Bell and Brown. They need to be like Juju Smith-Schuster, James Conner. Those people really need to step up and show that this team has a future. Because a lot of people are always talking about the Steelers' past, because historically they're a really good team. But, you know, they want to be able to be good in the future. They didn't want to have to peak years ago. But anyway, that's really all I have to say about football. Baseball season, MLB regular season, started yesterday, and I have, I believe, all the scores. I know the Twins beat the Indians 2-0. The A's beat the Angels 4-0. The Cubs beat the Rangers 12-4. The Tigers beat the Blue Jays 2-0. The Phillies beat the Braves 10-4. The Mets beat the Nationals 2-0. The Yankees beat the Orioles 7-2. The Mariners beat the Red Sox 10-4. The Astros beat the Rays 5-1. The Dodgers beat the Diamondbacks 12-5. The Rockies beat the Marlins 6-3, and the Royals beat the White Sox 5-3. And then the Pirates, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the local team here, lost to the Reds 5-3. Their home opener is Monday against the St. Louis Cardinals. I know in the game last night, Kang drove in Cervelli and Bell, and then Dickerson hit a home run, Corey Dickerson, who we acquired from the Rays. So 3 good scores there, but they couldn't quite get it done. It'll be interesting to see who is the starting pitcher on Monday against the Cardinals at home. But other than that, I haven't really predicted much for the Pirates season. I was paying close attention to them during spring training, and I liked what I saw. I liked Chris Archer. I want to see him start soon. And other than that, I'm not big on predicting what'll happen the rest of the season, because you never really know. I'd like to see them make it to the playoffs this year. I know the city really craves the Pirates and really wants them to do well, because, you know, they haven't, you know, been as good as they could be, and, you know, no one's as good as the 70s Pirates. No one has been as good as them, and everyone was really upset when, like, McCutchen left, because McCutchen was their star. So people still love them. Like, you see diehard Pirates fans everywhere, and they still really want to see them do well. And I hope this season they at least make it to the playoffs. They do somewhat well in the playoffs. Would love to see them go to the World Series. Would love to see them win the World Series. right now, I can't predict any of that, if it will happen or not. One thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of my show is that my mom is here in the studio with me. If she wants to talk, I'll turn her mic on, but right now it's off because I don't think she wants to say anything. But yeah, she is here in the studio with me. She says hi. Anyway, besides baseball, which exciting sport, fun sport, it's a good family sport. Anyone from Pittsburgh, PNC Park is beautiful. I think it's considered to be the #1 ballpark in America. It is really nice because when I saw a game there, like, you have a perfect view of the city. It's just a beautiful ballpark. So if you haven't gone to PNC Park and you have the chance, I suggest that you take it and you go see a game. Anyway, so baseball just started. Hockey is in its last 2 weeks, I believe. There's only 2 weeks left before it goes into playoffs. Right now, the Penguins are in a playoff spot. They're third in the Metropolitan Division. They were second until yesterday. The New York Islanders moved up to second. The Washington Capitals are first in the Metropolitan Division, and they've clinched a playoff spot, of course. Atlantic Division, this is the Eastern Conference I'm talking about right now. The Atlantic Division, right now in first place, is the Tampa Bay Lightning, and second is the Boston Bruins, and in third is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Their wild card for the Eastern Division is Carolina Hurricanes and the Columbus Blue Jackets. It seems like this has really been the playoff picture for the Eastern Conference for the past couple of years. These teams, they just are continuously very good and always make it to the playoffs. I am interested to see how the Penguins do tonight. They play against the Nashville Predators. I have notes right here that I'm reading off of, and they're all over the place. All right, I found it. They're playing against the Nashville Predators, and right now the Penguins are 42, 24, and 11, and the Predators are 43, 28, and 6. The Pens, like I said, are third place in the Metro Division with 95 points, and the Preds are second place in the Central Division with 92 points. This is, again, 2017 playoffs matchup. The Penguins beat the Predators, for those who missed it, and so this is like a rematch for them. Every time they play again is considered to be a rematch. So it'll be interesting to see how they do tonight. They do have quite a bit of injuries. They have Malkin, Ruedel, and Letang out, but they were practicing this morning before regular practice started. They were out on the ice. Zach Aston Reese has been injured, and he has not been at practice. No one really knows when he'll be back at practice. Oli Mata has been back to practice in a full contact jersey. He hasn't been put back in the lineup. Their defense was doing really well, so no one really knows where he'll fit in the lineup if they do put him back. I am curious to see where they put him, who they pair him up with. I know he's been paired up with Schultz before. He's been paired up with Ricola before. So he is a game time decision that has been announced. I am interested to see if they put him in and who they pair him up with. But other than that, the Penguins really need to win tonight. They are in a pretty solid spot. They do look right now as if they are going to go to the playoffs, but they don't want to let it slip. They don't want to start losing and get too comfortable and mess up, and then they're out of the playoffs. They did play really well last time we saw them play against the Rangers. The final score was Pens 5, Rangers 2, and the 3 stars of the game were all Penguins players: Teddy Bluger, Matt Murray, and Matt Cullen. Matt Murray was the first goalie off the ice today, so I'm assuming he will be starting in net tonight. I think he's been doing really well as of late. I think we have 2 pretty solid goalies in Matt Murray and Casey DeSmith. They both do have their off games, but so do all NHL goalies that I've watched play, at least. As for the playoff pictures for the Western Conference, it's pretty interesting. We have in the Central Division, like I said, Nashville's in second place, but first is Winnipeg, and third is the St. Louis. And in the Pacific Division, it's the Calgary Flames, the San Jose Sharks, and the Vegas Golden Knights are back in a playoff spot. I would like to see the Vegas Golden Knights go pretty far. It's really cool when you see a new team doing really well. I'm also a big fan of Marc-Andre Fleury. I think he's a great goalie. And I think it would be interesting if the Penguins go pretty far and then the Vegas Golden Knights go very far and then Penguins Golden Knights matchup for the playoffs. I would love to see that. I think that would be really fun. The wild card spot for the Western Division is Dallas Stars and Colorado. So yeah, we'll have a little bit of as of right now, Jamie Benn and Nathan MacKinnon will make their appearances in the playoffs. So that would be nice to see. As of right now, that is where we are standing. This weekend there are plenty of games. Things can change. Like I said, the Penguins play tonight and then they play again on Sunday. So hopefully they can keep up the momentum they've been playing with right now. I would love to see them continue to play well, even if they lose a couple games and it still means they're in a playoff spot. I think they need to still keep up the momentum. Excuse me. Anyway, moving on from hockey, because I talk about hockey a lot and I feel like I need to take a step back. There are plenty of other sports. Basketball has been really big right now with March Madness, and not only March Madness, the NBA playoffs will be starting soon. The NBA and the NHL seem to have very similar seasons, and the Golden State Warriors, of course, have clinched a playoff spot, and that's, to be expected. They're a really good team, and it's really hard to beat them when they have such good players like Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. I don't really see, until those players stop playing, I don't see any other team out there right now that has as good of a team, excuse me. The Lakers, of course, they have LeBron James. However, wasn't a great season for them. They are out of the playoffs. There's no way they can get a playoff spot. LeBron is missing the playoffs for the first time since 2005. He posted on Instagram that he seems to be okay with it. Not okay, but he's not being too hard on himself and, has a we'll get him next time attitude, which is good. You want him to not feel defeated and give up on himself if you're a Lakers fan. You want to believe that next year he's going to give it his all and he's going to keep trying to bring the Lakers to the playoffs. The big thing right now, like I said, is March Madness. It's been an interesting tournament, to say the least. Last night, Purdue beat Tennessee 99-94. And the final bracket after that game, the final perfect bracket has been broken. There's no longer a perfect bracket out there this March Madness tournament. So that's sad, but what can you do? Gonzaga beat FSU 72-58, and Texas Tech beat Michigan 63-44. Then Virginia beat Oregon 53-48. And that seems to be it for yesterday's game. Luckily for me, Luckily for me, I didn't make any bets on yesterday's games. I unfortunately did against UCF when they played Duke, because I thought, there's no way UCF is going to beat Duke. Duke's going to destroy them. It's not even going to be a close game. And then Duke only wins by 1 point. I bet my brother that I would get a yeet, that fun slang word yeet that everyone likes to say. I would get a yeet tattoo had UCF won, because I thought there's no way UCF's going to win. And my brother goes to UCF. So he was like, yeah, sure, whatever, I don't care. And Duke really had me having a heart attack for a while. They were up, they were down. It was a crazy game. And then, to win by 1 point. I'm choking. To win by 1 point and to do that to me. Thank you, Duke, for winning, but also don't do that again. Oh, that was a crazy night. Yeah, never gonna bet. I guess don't bet against UCF. Just don't make bets, guys. Don't do it. I'm not gonna do that. But they had Taco Fall, who is 7'6". So, dude doesn't even have to, jump to get to dunk the ball. He's just gotta stand on his tippy toes real quick. That's not fair. And I kind of want a picture with him, Taco Fall, if you're listening. Next time I'm in Orlando, I would like a picture with you, because You're almost like 2 feet taller than me. Yeah. You're like 5 inches short of being 2 feet taller than me because I'm 4'11", and I think it would be really funny if we got a picture together. The person taking the picture would have to stand way back to get us both in the frame. Anyway, continuing to talk about March Madness, tonight we have some interesting matchups that start at very weird times. LSU is playing Michigan State, who I have as the winner in my bracket, so do good, Michigan. The game starts at 7:09 p.m. and then the next game is Auburn and North Carolina, and I got a southern accent for that one real quick, at 7:29 p.m. and then Virginia Tech plays Duke, my savior, at 9:39 p.m. and Houston plays Kentucky at 9:57 p.m. I believe. Not quite sure why they're at such random times. I don't know what happened this morning. Possibly something that caused them to be at the weirdest times ever. March Madness is a really fun time. I think, it's a good time to get together with friends and family and write out your bracket and have a little competition. My dad always fills out his bracket, and so does my uncle, and they always watch March Madness together. But this year I filled out a bracket, and the first weekend my bracket was doing so well. I was smack talking my dad, telling him how I was gonna beat him, because I was beating him at that point. And then Sunday, when that whole Sunday night, the whole UCF Duke thing happened, other games happened too, but not as important to me as the one I bet on. My bracket got really messed up, so shut me up real quick. And since then, these games have been humbling me. So yeah, no longer smack talking my dad, because my bracket is not great. I mean, I'm still counting on Michigan State to win it all. They better do it, because I know everyone has Duke. Like, I even looked at Obama's bracket, and he has Duke. Everyone has Duke winning because they have the best odds of winning, of course. And of course, they have the best odds of winning, so why would UCF beat them? Why would UCF lose by 1 point? I'm still outraged. Oh, it's okay. I'm really mean, though, because, UCF and their whole national championship thing, it's kind of hard for me to root for them, even though my brother goes there. Yeah, I think March Madness is fun. Other than that, people tend to not pay as much attention to college sports until it's March Madness or the Peach Bowl and all that fun stuff. But with March Madness, you kind of have to be paying attention to these college basketball teams throughout the year, because you got to see how well they've been doing in order to fill out your bracket. I mean, if you really care about your bracket winning. But I mean, I did, but now I don't. Now that I've narrowly avoided getting a yeet tattoo, nothing matters. I don't have to win. I've already won. All right, I'm gonna go to the first commercial break. Thank you for listening to Talkin' Sporty and Sometimes Nerdy with Lindsay. I will be right back. I'm Lindsay. I was talking about March Madness, and I said I was done, but I'm not done. The Duke UCF game that I don't want to relive, but what? But here I am. Sorry, I just totally stumbled all over my words. I don't know how much sleep I got last night, but I'm gonna go ahead and guess not enough. The Duke UCF game that I don't want to relive, yet I'm reliving it. That game, like I mentioned, so many people have Duke winning it all. So had UCF won, that would have messed up everyone's brackets. My uncle's would have been messed up. Obama's would have been messed up. What? President Obama would have been messed up. My mom just corrected me. Okay. Anyway. I'm going to move on from March Madness, though, because like I said, I don't want to be reliving that game. I'm going to just wipe it out of my memory forever. We're going to pretend it never happened. UCF and Duke don't even exist. I don't know what you're talking about. But, funny thing, there's a TV back here that I mentioned last time I was on, and last time I was on, it was playing spring training games. It was playing the Pirates. Today, it's playing golf, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm the biggest golf fan. I'm not. But yesterday, I learned, I might be the last person to find this out, that Tony Romo is playing golf now. And he was competing in this tournament in Punta Cana that's currently going on. And from what I saw, he wasn't doing that well. So, sorry, Tony. Do better, maybe? Anyway, the golfers that I really have followed and sometimes still follow right now, the ones I've followed in the past follow right now are like Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, Justin Rose, Francesco Molinaro. Tiger Woods, I don't like actively follow him, but you still see him everywhere. I saw a video on Twitter yesterday that he got a par after he had to hit the ball out of the bushes. So he's still doing well, I guess. I also saw a tweet that said Rory McIlroy this week is 2-0-0, and it said Rory McIlroy is perfect. I concur. Yeah, but there is currently a golf tournament going on, like I said, in Punta Cana, and Tiger Woods is playing in it. And everybody, since he made his return earlier, I believe it was last year that he made his return, and everybody's been following him really closely. You know, when you come out of retirement like that, everyone wants to see how well you do. And I think he's been doing okay. Yeah, I'm really, that's all I have to say about golf, because like I said, I don't actively follow golf, but I do watch it sometimes, and it is, like, I know it's considered to be a very boring sport, and I always thought, like, when I was little, I was like, I'm not gonna watch golf, it's boring, you can't even make noises, you have to do the little golf clap, the little quiet clap, and I was like, that's boring. We like football where you can yell, and hockey where people fight each other. But no, actually, I started watching a golf tournament, I think it was last summer, and I got really into it. Like, I was rooting for people. So I think just for me in general, like, I could get into any sports. I remember last Winter Olympics. Of course, I was, like, waking up at 3 a.m. to watch the hockey games, but I was also, like, occasionally throughout the day watching, like, curling, and I would find myself rooting for one of the curling teams. And I'm like, what is this? Who sits here and is, like, cheering for curling? Only I would do that. But, yeah, I mean, all sports are interesting to me, and golf, again, seems like it would be really boring, but once I actually sat down and watched it, I was really into it. And that was one that tournament I remember Francesco Molinaro won. And I think Rory McIlroy came in second. I've known about Rory McIlroy forever because he's been talked about forever, and I think he's a really cool dude. I saw a video once, I don't remember who he was golfing against, but he was, like, making, like, every, like, target he had to hit, he was hitting it, and I think that's when I, like, started kind of following Rory McIlroy more, because I think he's really good at what he does, and he seems like a cool dude, like I said already. Another sport that is not talked about as much is soccer, or as everyone else calls it, football. I live, like, not too far from a soccer stadium. The Riverhounds play there, and they're Pittsburgh's soccer team. They're kind of the underdogs here when you have teams like the Steelers that have won the 6 Super Bowls, and the Penguins who have won 5 Stanley Cups, and the Pirates and their 70s World Series successes. A dude just walked by in a Pecorine sweat jersey. I want to talk about it. It was a little kid, so I won't talk smack about him, but what are you doing? Anyway, back to soccer. He distracted me. Yeah, like I was saying, you've had, I believe, 5 World Series for the Pirates, 5 Stanley Cups for the Penguins, 6 Super Bowls for the Steelers. So they get all the attention around here, and the Riverhounds, they're not even an MLS team, so they don't get as much attention as other American soccer teams, but they are still a good team. Their last game, they did tie. It was against the Swope Park Rangers. The final score was 2-2, and that was on March 23rd. They did, like I mentioned last time, how well they did in their preseason, and they did well last season, making it to the playoffs, making it pretty far too. And their next game is tomorrow. It's against the Bethlehem Steel FC. It's not a home game. That's what I asked some people the other day. I had to, for a class, do man on the street interviews, and I asked them about the Riverhounds, and they said they've been to a game. Both of them have been to a game. One of them played soccer. But the reason why they feel like people don't support them as much is because their schedule is kind of crazy, and also they don't play very many home games, which I also, because I was looking at games to go to, and I found that they really don't play that many home games. And I would like to see them play more home games because like I said, the stadium's right across the bridge and I could easily go to games, and I like soccer and I would love to go see them play. So I think they should get more recognition around here, and if they had more home games, I think they would, possibly, because again, their tickets aren't too expensive, definitely not as expensive as the Penguins and the Steelers, and they're, you know, a fun atmosphere. Like, although sometimes people complain about the fact that they play into the winter, so it gets really cold and you're outside, but the Steelers do that too, and you know, the Steelers always have people at their stadium. So I would like to go to more Riverhounds games. Moral of the story. Other news in soccer. This one was really fun, a really fun fact to me. The Women's World Cup in France starts in June. It goes from June 7th to July 7th. And if you pay attention to women's soccer at all, the U.S. women's team has filed a lawsuit alleging institutionalized gender discrimination due to the unequal pay that they get versus the men's team. They get paid so much more, and what's interesting is the fact that the women's team is a lot better than the men's, and that may sound like an opinion, but it's actually a fact. The women's team have 4 Olympic gold medals, and they've won the World Cup 3 times out of the 9 appearances they've made. The men's team have made 10 appearances, and the best they've done in the World Cup is win 3rd place, and it's okay though, because they got silver in the Olympics in 1904, so they've been decent before, but recently not so great. And the fact that the men get paid so much more, and they're not even doing that well in the World Cups that they've been to, and the women have won it 3 times, is kind of crazy. Like I said, it's a fact that they're just better than them. They've performed better than they have, and they're getting paid way less. And I don't know if it was like a first is the worst, second is the best, third is the one that gets the treasure chest. Since the men's team have come in 3rd before, they get all the money. Whereas first, we don't care about you. But, you know, I don't know what to say about that other than that. They do, like I said, the Women's World Cup in France is coming up in June. And the women will be playing Australia, and I wrote down the date, but I lost it. They'll be playing Australia, I think it's on April 5th? It's somewhere around there. Oh, April 4th. And then Canada, to build off of what the women have done filing a lawsuit, Canada actually reached a 2-year agreement with their women's team that covers players' payments for performance, and their performance and roster bonuses. So they're like, look, we can pay our players. That's fun that Canada's doing better than us again. But Canada, if you're interested, play England on April 4th. I like to watch the World Cups. I watch the men's, I watch the women's, and like I said, America's women's team, I remember like watching them win the World Cup. So they've done it recently, like it hasn't been forever, and I think they have a good enough team to possibly win it this year. But I'll watch in 2022, since I've been making fun of the men's team just sitting here, they're gonna win. The U.S. men's team are gonna win the World Cup in 2022, and then they're gonna be like, we did this because Lindsay made fun of us and we had to prove ourselves to her. So yeah. About that. I don't really have much else when it comes to news in soccer, because it's not a popular American sport. I mean, we are the only ones who call it soccer. I know as for England teams, Everton beat Chelsea on March 17th 2-0. That's kind of sad because I've followed Chelsea and I like them, and it could be because I really like the song Chelsea Dagger, and it's a good song, and I know a lot of people hate it, like a lot of people in hockey especially, because the Chicago Blackhawks use that as their goal song. So I remember last season, the beginning of the season, we lost really badly. The Penguins lost really badly to the Chicago Blackhawks. What's the name of the guy that was our goalie for like, we traded him, or no, we put him on waivers and he was claimed. He was our backup goalie and he was not doing great. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name right now. Don't judge me. So he was our goalie and he let in like 10 goals and we didn't score at all. So 10 times, because every time it was a home game for the Chicago Blackhawks, and every time they score, they play Chelsea Dagger. So I think people got pretty sick and tired of the song then. I didn't. I still play it very often. I very much like that song. And there is a lot of controversy around them using it. I guess it's not like serious controversy. It's just that people don't like it, so they complain about it a lot. You can find tons of articles that are like, can they please change their goal song? And I think it's mainly people who don't like the Chicago Blackhawks, because when they're beating you and you have to hear Chelsea Dagger over and over again, it could be kind of annoying rather than just like a typical goal horn. But I would rather hear Chelsea Dagger over and over again than a typical goal horn, because goal horns are loud and I don't like very loud noises. I like Chelsea Dagger, okay? So if the Penguins ever want to steal it as their goal song, I support it, okay? I support the Penguins using Chelsea Dagger. Other than that, like I said, the Penguins play tonight. I'm going full circle back to hockey. And I mentioned this before, where I'm not sure where Molinaro will fit in the lineup. I do think they'll put him back in. A lot of people were saying they might not. But I do think they will. I know that Rutherford likes him. I don't know what his relationship's like with Sullivan, but he seems to like him enough. Possibly take Jack Johnson out. I've mentioned that many times, that we kind of overpaid for him, and that's why they're going to keep playing him, of course, though, because they don't want to admit that they overpaid for him, and they're going to be like, no, look, he's out there, he's skating, he can do it, and you're like, no, his plus minus isn't great. Just his stats, buddy, he's not doing the job. We have other players, you can please take him out. Anyway, yeah, they've been playing him. Someone was saying Marcus Pettersson, maybe take him out and put Molinaro in. I don't know. I think Pettersson has been doing pretty well. Also, the people we acquired in the trade with Florida right before the deadline, they have been doing really well. McCann and Bjugstad have performed beautifully this past month, and I think McCann was like one game like carrying the team, and that was nice to see. Sidney Crosby, of course, has been doing what Sidney Crosby does and performing really well with his team. I saw a video of Connor McDavid this morning. He made a goal that was like between his legs, and it went so fast. He's a fast guy. That's his thing, is his speed. And wow, it was incredible to watch. I've never seen a goal like that before. I know I've kind of said, like, I don't think Connor McDavid is as good as people paint him to be. And, like, he's not bad. He's a good goal scorer, but he's not, like, Sidney Crosby in the sense that Sidney Crosby makes everyone around him better. And obviously Connor McDavid hasn't been doing that with how poorly the Oilers have been performing. So, yeah, that was a really cool goal to watch. I think NHL's Twitter tweeted it if you want to go see it. It was, the commentators were saying stuff like, this is like when you're in Pee-wee hockey and you're so much better than everyone else because you can do stuff like that, and so you should probably just be moved up to the next level. However, this is the NHL, so there is no next level for Connor McDavid to be moved up to. But they were saying like he's like the best person in the league, which I don't exactly agree with, but you know, whatever floats your boat. If you think Connor McDavid is the best, I just think he's a 21-year-old getting paid $12 million a year, and that's, yeah, that's crazy. I wouldn't, if he wouldn't mind sharing, I wouldn't mind taking a cut of his paycheck, you know, just a little donation to Lindsay because she needs help. Yeah, so Penguins play tonight. Gotta keep up the momentum, gotta keep winning, gotta stay in that playoff spot. They are in third place in the Metro Division. They just got passed by the Islanders last night. So they are neck and neck. However, if you start losing now, that would be bad. You could get knocked out of a playoff spot, and we don't want that. We want them to stay in a playoff spot. Perhaps they can beat the Washington Capitals this year, play and beat them. Because last year it was sad to see them lose against them after they beat them in the playoffs so many times. And the Washington Capitals have definitely clinched their playoff spot being in the first place in the Metro. And, the Tampa Bay Lightning clinched their playoff spot, I think, like a week ago. So, because they're, like, way ahead of everyone. That would be the one that the Penguins might have trouble beating this playoffs. I'm going to go to another commercial break. This has been Talkin' Sporty and Sometimes Nerdy with Lindsay. I'm Lindsay, and I'll be right back. Welcome back to WPPJ Point Park Radio. This is Talkin' Sporty and Sometimes Nerdy with Lindsay. I'm Lindsay, and I just got an update on my phone about soccer. So Lionel Messi, you probably all know of him from the 2014 World Cup, where he was like, everybody was watching him. He's super fast, pretty good. He has said that apparently he's gotten a lot of critics in his hometown of Argentina, or his home country of Argentina, and people are just, I guess, tearing him apart there. And his son, like his little son, was like, why are they so mean to you? Because I guess he plays for Barcelona. So people are like, his son doesn't understand why the media is being so mean to his dad, and I think that's really sad. But I really like Lionel Messi. I remember there was a joke that this guy was saying. This guy told me that was like, he was playing FIFA on his Xbox and he spilled soda and things got messy. Get it? Okay, yeah, it's not that funny. But that's the only update I have on sports right now. My notes were all over the place. A lot has been going on with MLB. Regular season starting yesterday. I know it was Mike Trout of the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim who had this really scary, weird injury. I was just kind of like, I looked at pictures of it. It was really weird. He seems to be okay. I'll look at updates on that later and then tell you some more updates, maybe next week. Like I said earlier, my mom is here in the studio with me. So because of the fact that I've run out of sports things to say, I am going to turn her mic on and let her say, hi. What is that?
It's your cousin Tony's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to my cousin Tony.
Who's from Pittsburgh?
Sort of.
Well, he was born here.
Oh, well. All right, so anyway, that's my mom. She's here visiting me, and she actually was a house divided growing up. My dad's a Pittsburgh fan. She is a Philadelphia fan. She likes the Eagles. I don't know if she likes the Phillies.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess she likes the Phillies. She likes the Flyers, kind of. She's not that big on hockey, so, like, she'll root for them, but I'll say, what's that player's name? And she'll be like, the Flyers player. So she doesn't know hockey as well, but she does root for her teams. She gets really into football. She has a Nick Foles signed hat.
I do.
She's really proud of it. So.
That was the Super Bowl championship.
Right. Your first one. Congrats.
Yes. We're holding on to that.
Yep. Anyway.
Looking for another one.
Good luck with that.
Thanks, sweetheart.
You're welcome. So, are you looking forward to this baseball season? The Phillies acquired both, Bryce Harper. I almost called him Bruce. Bryce Harper and McCutcheon.
Yes.
Yes. Good answer.
I'm looking forward to it. Yes.
Do you think you're gonna have a good season? Because they did win yesterday, 10-4 against the Atlanta Braves.
Well, they're due for one, so.
They're due for one?
Yes, they're due.
You really think so? I think the Pirates are due for one.
Well, it'll be a Pennsylvania race to the.
You think so? It's gonna be a battle of PA.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is West Side, Best Side. All right.
Okay. You tell your aunt and uncle in Philly that.
Yeah. Well, you tell your husband
Yeah.
from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Flyers are not in a playoff spot.
I know that.
How do you feel about that?
It's kind of sad because they were starting to do pretty well, but
they're
I
the
guess
Flyers.
It's just not their. Oh. It's just not their season or their year this season. So there's always next year.
Yeah, you think so?
Okay.
But remember last season when the Penguins played the Flyers in the first round of the playoffs, it went to 6 games. The Flyers fans weren't very nice. They were throwing beer cans at the Penguins players. That would hurt if you got hit by one. You want to get hit by a beer can, Mom?
No, it's not me throwing anything. I just have to, know that there are Philadelphia fans that don't necessarily use their best judgment, or let's hope that's not their best judgment.
Seems like
but
it might be.
Others are awesome, and we have a lot of fun, and I have some very good friends who are Eagles and Phillies and Flyers and 76ers fans.
It's unfortunate.
So,
no.
But we haven't, my relatives are good people too, so we've always had a good time, but it has gotten kind of rough over there because Uncle Lou won't even take anybody down there to see any games. He hasn't for years, so
yeah.
It's unfortunate because Philly could be a lot of fun, so let's hope that, they maybe get back into the swing of things the way they used to.
Right. Sure.
I'm being optimistic.
But they did.
Still a great town.
What I really enjoyed last year, one of the playoff games, I can't pinpoint which one, Flyers fans, it wasn't Philadelphia, and Flyers fans were chanting Crosby sucks, as they do, and then Crosby turned around and scored a goal. So I was like, you fools. Chanting Crosby sucks only makes him stronger.
Well, Crosby's an amazing player, an amazing person, and he's a role model, so.
And your captain, Giroux, sorry, I said that really fast. Giroux had this awful hit on Letang where he definitely did it on purpose because he was like going backwards and he like turned around real quick, saw him, yeah, that's what it looked like. It was either Letang like was going backwards. One of them like saw that they were gonna run. Giroux saw that he was gonna skate into Letang and like kept going. I remember that. So that was not very nice. Now was it, Mom?
Hey, I didn't coach. Probably not the coach either. I shouldn't say that. Like I said, they need to start using their better judgment.
Maybe then they'll make it to the playoffs. And the Stanley Cup. They haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1975.
I know.
Do
so
you?
Grandpa got to see that.
Good for him.
Although he was never really big into hockey, but
that's sad. Anyway, I was gonna say something and I completely forgot. So you just talked
he
about
played football.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, he was a big football fan.
Yes, the football. Last year, the winner of March Madness, Villanova, is a Philadelphia area school. I don't think they're in Philadelphia, but they're near it. You didn't pay attention to March Madness, did you?
Well, I did watch the UCF game.
Of course you did. She watched that
that's
game.
That's my alma mater too. But,
of course.
Yeah, it was sad.
Well, you were sad? I was pretty happy. You would have cried
Well,
more if
happy.
I came home and had a yeet tattoo.
This is true. This is true. That was the saving grace.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why you decided to bet your brother that, but
Because, like I said, Duke had the highest odds of winning the whole entire tournament. So why would UCF, a 9th seed team, beat them? Like, even come close to beating them?
They just had a knack.
They just have a player that's 7'6".
Yes, but there are other players on the team that have talent as well, and so people that have been talking about this game all week, literally, on other sports stations down in Florida or even nationally, have been praising UCF because they actually played well in surprise, which was a surprise to people, but if you've been kind of watching them, you can see why they were there, that they did pretty well. But like you say, a lot of people were really banking on Duke. Your Uncle Randy like bet his whole entire bracket on Duke, so he was just sitting there watching the TV, ready to just.
Like I said, President Obama had Duke winning it all.
I know. They're favorites, so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, they did have the highest odds of winning the tournament, and they do play tonight, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But speaking of March Madness, you said you were kind of been watching. You watched that game. Did you see the commercial? This is the funniest commercial. I can't remember like all the lines, but they have these commercials with Charles Barkley and Samuel L. Jackson. And this one, Charles Barkley had a bird, and Larry Bird.
I heard about it. I didn't see it, but I heard about it.
He came in, and Charles Barkley said that was his bird named Larry Bird, and Larry Bird had a dog, and he said, "This is my dog, Charles Barkley." I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, Charles Barkley was in some really funny commercials.
Yeah.
No,
those commercials are so funny. The ones with Charles Barkley, I think they're hilarious because I've been keeping up with their like Capital One commercials. So I've been kind of looking at their Twitter because sometimes they'll like tweet the commercial, or I've been looking it up. But they are some really funny commercials. I think they're like, that's the fun thing with March Madness is the commercials are they're like, I think they're better than the Super Bowl commercials even, because they have the Charles Barkley commercials. And my dad just texted me, but my phone is recording this, so if he could text my mom instead, that'd be great.
He should be in this seat.
He can if he wants to call in. There's a minute left if he wants to call in real quick. I have to be off in a minute, but he knows a lot about sports, obviously.
He played hockey.
Yeah, he played hockey, so he should be disappointed in his wife.
Thanks a lot. Hey, I've learned.
Yeah, I never got to play hockey, but I'm still really good on skates. So if anyone wants to bet me, I'm kidding. I'm done with bets. No more betting. But I can use hockey skates. I've skated in hockey skates.
Okay.
But and so anyway, I'm done betting forever and ever.
Yeah, you might give that up.
I was like, there's no way. And I was talking to my brother's friends, and they're like, whatever, sure. That's crazy. Anyway, the show is basically over. I don't know what my
He said he picked Michigan to win.
I too picked Michigan to win. I mentioned that earlier. If he has been listening, I guess he's a fake fan.
He was listening. Not a fake fan.
I picked Michigan State to win because I didn't want to I'd rather not pick the person that has the highest odds or is the most likely to win. Eventually, I picked Michigan State, and then when I saw UC Irvine, when they won unexpectedly. They had the biggest upset of the tournament so far when they won. It was really nice to see. I was really hoping they'd have the Cinderella story and go all the way, but unfortunately they did not. So hopefully Michigan State wins. We'll see how the rest of March Madness goes. I have to leave now. The show is over. I'm sorry. You've been listening to Talkin' Sporty and Sometimes Nerdy with Lindsay on WPPJ Point Park Radio. I'll see you guys, not really because I can't see you, next week. Bye. Say bye, Mom.
Bye-bye. Thank you for having me on air.
No problem.